We have a mission. And the vision is to create a better world, but how do we know if we created that? So one of the things we want to do is we want to touch 1 million people with our work, but the other thing, which is much more tangible, is we want to create 1,000 conscious millionaires around us, because those are the people that are going to make a difference, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. You remember yesterday we were drawing this, I was asking you, why did you start a business, and you came up with those reasons, and we divided them into the 4 quadrants. You remember what was this quadrant? Independence, right? That was the independence. Okay, independence, freedom, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that was one reason to start a business. A second reason was here, what was it? Money, right? So that was about money. Here, it was about fulfillment. Okay? It was about what do I get from having a business? What do I get for myself? How do I fulfill myself more? Okay? And the last one here was contribution. But the way that it goes is usually, it's one of those is the biggest reason, and the other one is the second one. Then this is, the fulfillment is very, very important, right? You wouldn't want to have a business if you're not feeling fulfilled or being able to express yourself, etc. And then comes the contribution, which we all want to give this way or another. And that's how it goes. So usually it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. It's something that I heard for many, many, many years. I heard it many years ago for the first time. And I invite you to take the same sentence. It's a sentence that, or a saying that I heard from Zig Ziglar, which is one of the biggest motivational speakers. He's now old and doesn't present anymore. But he used to be one of the most influential motivational speakers in the States. And he said, if you want to be successful, all you have to do is to help as many other people as possible be successful. And I just took it literally. I understood that if I want to be successful, all I need to do is to make other people successful. And when I saw this, I started to understand that actually it starts here. This is number one. Making other people successful, this is about somebody else. If I focus my business not here, but here, this is the only thing that I need to be busy with, then what I discovered is that I feel fulfilled. What happens is that tonight, after I will probably get 700, 800, 900 hugs, I'm going to go home feeling very fulfilled. By trying to help you become more successful, I'm doing what you were looking for in the fulfillment. I express myself, as you noticed. Okay? So I have a chance to express myself. I have a chance to use my passion, to use my talent. I feel good about myself. So I will go tonight. I already went last night feeling really good about myself. Okay, I'm sure that tonight I will feel even better about myself. So this is a consequence. I don't have to work about that at all. The experience of freedom and independence is, again, a consequence of that. When I'm doing what I like, when I enjoy myself, when I express myself and I still get to make a difference, then I feel there's nothing I need to create. Remember Nelson Mandela? He was one of the freest people in the world in a tiny little jail cell. It's not about what you do. You think, oh, if I don't have a boss, I will be free. But most of you are today more slaves to your business and to your schedule and to your clients because you didn't structure it right, that you're today feeling that you're less free maybe than before. And it can be different, but it's a consequence. It's not something that you need to work on. It's a consequence of you doing this. And the nicest consequence, or the most surprising consequence, is that when you do that, Zig Ziglar is right. This comes. This comes. People have these ideas, and people are very cynical, and I think it comes because people don't feel good about themselves, and that's one of the things we're trying to change. When people don't feel good about themselves, they look at successful people. It doesn't matter if it's in money or in relationship or in fame or whatever it is. They look at successful people and they try to put them down. And they say, oh, rich people, they must be, they must have cheated, stole, or did something bad in order to get that money. And I don't think it's true. I think that the easiest way in the world to become rich is just to give to a lot of other people. And I'm not talking right now about, about charity. I'm talking about just give your talents, give your gifts, what you have to give. You give that, this you'll get. We tend to think that we need to do this in order to get here. No, start here, and this will come. And I know that it's a little hard to understand. I know it's because it's against what we were trained. And I personally didn't really get that for years. When you contributed and made a better world in your way, whatever it is, if you created a fantastic website for somebody, and because of that their business is growing, or because of that people get to know them, etc., then that's your contribution to the world. You feel good about yourself, you feel fulfilled, you feel that you took your talent and did something with it, you feel the independence, and you generate tons of money from that, then there is something that you can do with the extra money. And that goes here. It's a different circle that is starting to happen. And you may not be able to do that today, big time, because you don't have a lot, but when you will do what we tell you to do, this will happen big time, and you will have some extra. This is how I see that, and I learned that from very, 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 very wealthy people. This is your cup. Now, your cup is not empty. For most of you, your cup today is half full. Is it half full or half empty? Depends on you, right? Depends on, it's how you see it, right? It can be both, right? But the point is like that. And you start to grow your amount of money, which means that you start to filling your cup, right? Now, at one point, if you keep on doing what we're telling you, and it's not going to take too long, this is what's going to happen, right? Now, you keep on filling it, but your cup is full, which means you have everything that you need, everything that makes you happy. Your lifestyle is exactly the way you want it, but you're still generating it, right? What happens to the extras? What happens? Is it stop? Does it stop? No, you keep on generating it. It's not even you anymore. But it comes in, but what happens? You don't need it. What happens to it? It flows where? Somewhere else. Is something missing for you? But if you keep on generating, because you have another 50 years to live and contribute, then this contribution can go somewhere else. But what if here there are other people? What if there's here other goals, other causes, something that is important for you? Is that an interesting position to be in? This is what we call conscious millionaire. Conscious millionaire. A conscious millionaire is not somebody necessarily that have millions. A conscious millionaire is somebody that his cup is full. And your cup will be different than mine. Right now, my cup is full for 6 years. Since 6 years, my cup is full. And I keep on generating money. But I don't need that more than that, because everything in my life that I can buy with money, I already bought. And I can pay for what is important for me. If for you what is important is to have, 6 cars and a yacht and traveling all over the world, that's totally fine. But if you do what we tell you, you will still fill up your cup at one point. Maybe it will take you another few years than it took us. For us, it was quite short. 15 months, we became financially free. Because our cup wasn't that big. Does that make sense? And this is something we teach people in the financial freedom. Start with a small cup that you're happy with, and you can always grow the cup after it's full. But you're a conscious millionaire as soon as you have your cup full, and what is excess, you give away. That's what we believe in. We invented this term, okay? We invented it, and we are promoting it, and we are the only company in the world, or only organization in the world that is trying to tell people, you can do that. If I could do that coming from nowhere, with no profession, no education, no connections, no language, still doesn't have it. And within 15 years, I could get to that. You, with all your connections, with your profession, you know the language, you know the people, you know the market, you understand the mentality, everything, you can do that much faster. And you have me. Okay, I can save you 10 years. So I'm not saying that you will become a conscious millionaire tomorrow, but why not going there? Does that make sense? Guys, does that make sense? We took 10% of everything that we earned and 10% of what the company earned, and we put it in good causes, what we thought are good causes. And for a few years, we had a school in Uganda that we were supporting. It was a small school for about 200 girls in Uganda, very, very rural area in Uganda, very rough, violent, dangerous area of Uganda, where they took those 200 girls from different ages, from different villages, and they trained them for leadership. Because in Africa, women has a lot of power in their tribes, but they never trained for that. So they took those 200 girls, I think from the age of, don't catch me for that, I think from the age of 6 till 18 or something, but, and they trained them to become leaders, so when they go back to their villages, they can take this leadership position. We would give 10% of the income of Open Circles, which was what we could give at that time. It was not that much, but it built a roof above their school at one point and another building. And, in Africa, a little money makes a big difference. Does that make sense? This is something to remember. What we think 10 euros is not a lot of money, 10 euros in other countries makes a big difference for people. Something to remember. That's how conscious millionaires think. But at one point we became financially free, Vered and me. And we realized that when you are financially free, you get freedom that is not just financially. You get other freedoms, like freedom of time. So we said, what can we do for Uganda? What can we do? We really like this school, this project, everything about that. And we said, what can we do more? And then we said, well, we have some time, which we didn't have before. We couldn't afford that. And we sent Vered and another trainer from us. We sent them for 2 weeks for Uganda to make a difference with their time. And Vered went there for a couple of weeks, just teaching them the same principles that you're getting here and make it available for people that are really in the most rural areas of Africa. Just before Vered went there, the principal of the school was murdered. It's this type of area there. This is not a student, this is a teacher. So Vered was spending time with the teachers, teaching them about the principles, about the goals. Vered and our other trainer, she's a specialist in microfinancing, this is Femke next to Vered, and they were teaching the community. This time the parents and the grandparents and the parents and the people in the villages, they were teaching them about microfinancing and about how they can fulfill more of their potential. Those are people that don't know how to read and write. Never learned. Their girls are the first generation that is being educated in any way. At the end of those 2 weeks, Vered collected the whole group, about 200 girls, and they needed to stand in front of the whole class and tell the group their goal, their biggest goal in their life. And this girl stood up, and this is the picture, and she stood up in front of them, and she said, when I grow up, I'm going to be the president of Uganda. And everybody believed her. When Vered came and told me that, I was in tears, and I was like, how easy it is to make a difference in the world when you're willing to give without expecting anything back. Today we're in a position that we can give more. We still give the same 10%, but 10% of where we were 6 years ago is not the same 10%. We are just bigger. Is that making sense? So the 10% today can make a much bigger difference. A year and a half ago, I think, we decided to create a whole organization called Open Circles Foundation. That's a stichting. So we're thinking, okay, so we put the money, and this is a lot of money, but it's okay, it's 10% of what we're making, so we can do that. But is that the maximum we can do? Is that the most that we can do? We say we have lots of knowledge. We have lots of information. We can share that. We have the time. Okay? I'm a very busy person, but if I have a project, I will go and I will spend 2 weeks somewhere. And why not doing something like that somewhere else? You know? I do that free in Holland. I can do that free in Sierra Leone, right, for example. So we're looking for something like that, and we found something now that is very, very interesting. And it's so interesting because it involves a few more people than just us. In the old days, when we helped the school in Uganda, we didn't have a lot of money, so we asked our students, usually after the financial freedom course, when we explained them the principle of contributing to a better world, giving 10% of your money, we used to ask them to give whatever they want, whatever they have right now, 5 euros, 10 euros, whatever it is. We collected everything with a letter from them. Everybody wrote a few words, and we sent it to the girls or to the school. But I thought, we have such a resource that nobody else in the world has. Not Bill Gates with the Gates Foundation, not Warren Buffett. And we are, and Vilko made me aware of that. Vilko is a friend, and he's a long time with us. And at one point, he came to me after one of the business boot camps, and he says, you know, you're not a conscious millionaire, you're actually a conscious billionaire. Not in money, maybe, but in human resource. The amount of people that we have around us that wants to make a better world, that wants to contribute, that we can tell them, hey, guys, would you like to chip in with us and we'll do something together, is tremendous. So we were looking for something like that. We were looking for a project where we can do something together. And we found my hero, my role model, Richard Branson. Anybody heard about Richard Branson? Richard Branson from Virgin, right? So he was, for many, many years, still is my role model for business and for how you live your life right, you know, having fun while, you know, making lots of money and, you know, contributing big time to the world. And one of the projects of Virgin Unite, one of the foundations of Richard Branson, has what they call the Branson Centers for Entrepreneurships. And they have one in South Africa and the new one that they opened last year in Jamaica. And those are centers for entrepreneurs, for young entrepreneurs, where they teach them how to become successful, and they help them to become successful in their community, but as business owners. And what they do with those is they give them education, they give them mentoring, and they give them money. Kind of a full package. And we like that. What we didn't like is that they're working with very few people. They're working with 30 people a year. And we said, what? With all the money that they get from the foundation and everything, I'm sure there's tons of money there. Why only 30 people? We are helping in 1 weekend 1,000 people. So we approached. And it took us some time, but just, I cannot announce it yet because it's not done yet. But we just got the email that we're going to have dinner with Richard in, I don't know when. And then we can present our idea with them, because we told them, this is the amount of money we want to put. This is what we want to contribute ourselves. So I want to do kind of a boot camp for those people. And we believe that we can get quite a few people from our students that will be willing to be a mentor for those entrepreneurs, that they could be on Skype or on the phone once a week, having as a business mentor or as a whatever they need. And they liked the idea. It took us some time to get them to understand that we are not interested in their logo, because everybody wants to be part of the Virgin group. And we said, we're not interested. We don't have to ever mention it to anybody. We just want to be able to make a real difference, and money is not enough. I hope that in the next business bootcamp we can have some slides with the next project, which is really nice. But I'm just curious, because I will have to tell them, if I will send you an email in a few months, and I say, listen, we have those 30 or 50 or 100 entrepreneurs in South Africa or in Jamaica, and they are at the beginning, they are startups. If you have an experience in business, would you be willing on a weekly basis on Skype or on the phone to mentor those people for an hour a week? Would I get a few hands for that? I want you to look around. This is when I feel what Vilko said, a conscious billionaire. Because then it's more than me again. Then it means that we can make a really big contribution. And by the way, all those who took your hands, we just took a photo of you, and we're going to... But this is something that I think that we can make a difference. And this is what I want you to start thinking. How can you become a conscious millionaire?